All right, let's jump right in. We're going to focus on one single, absolutely pivotal year in the life of an edtech pioneer named Morten Flate Paulsen. That year was 2012. It's the year his three-decade career came to a really dramatic end, and a brand new venture, a school built in the cloud, was born right from the ashes. It's a fascinating story of institutional crisis meeting entrepreneurial spirit.
And it really all kicks off with this quote from Morten's resignation letter. I mean, you can just feel the weight of it, right? This wasn't just someone quitting a job. This was a painful break from a place he had helped build for 30 years. So what on earth could have pushed him to that point? Okay, so our story begins at NKI, Morten's longtime professional home. And it turns out a single, really poorly planned project was about to become the catalyst for a huge crisis.
So here's the deal. NKI had this really successful in-house learning management system, an LMS, called SESAM. It was their secret sauce, their competitive edge. But new management gets this idea to just freeze all development on it. They wanted to outsource a totally new system, thinking it would be cheaper. Morten, well, he called it the unfortunate LMS project.
Now, this slide is where things start to get a little bit crazy. Check out this timeline. Morten's asked to lead a group of experts to consult on this huge decision. They get the project documents on a Thursday and are told they have to give feedback by the next Tuesday. That's just 2 working days. And the punchline? Management made the final call from Spain just a few hours after that deadline. So the expert group scrambles, and they pull together this 7-page report. They warned about massive risks, they questioned the ridiculously small budget, and they pointed out that the developers they were considering were, well, not exactly financially stable. And you know what? It worked. The board actually listened and turned the project down. But, as Morten said, the harm was already done. Trust was completely broken. So, feeling pretty alienated from where his own company was headed, Morten starts looking outside for new ideas and for inspiration. And this search literally took him around the world and introduced him to a totally new way of thinking about online education.
He started digging into open-source systems, like Moodle. Now, unlike the closed-off proprietary route NKI was trying to take, open source is all about collaboration and flexibility. Anyone can look at the code, anyone can improve it. It's a fundamentally different philosophy for building technology.
And this quote just perfectly captures how absurd the situation was. He's giving a keynote speech in Montreal, and international colleagues are coming up to him, telling him how impressed they are with his SESM system, the exact same system his bosses back home were trying to throw in the trash. The irony must have been just staggering.
So you've got all this frustration building up, but also all this new inspiration. It all needed to go somewhere, right? Well, the lightning bolt moment, the epiphany, came in a pretty unexpected place, during a road trip in the United States.
After that conference in Montreal, Morten just rented a car and started driving, just trying to make sense of it all. And he had this realization that all the tools you would need to build a brand new online school were now cheap and available, in the cloud. The idea was there, but it didn't have a name.
And then, in a totally random antique shop in upstate New York, he saw it. Just sitting there, among all the old stuff, were these wooden alphabet blocks, spelling out a word that was simple, easy to say, easy to remember. NooA. NooA. For him, it just felt like a sign. The name was perfect. He decided it would stand for the Nordic Open Online Academy. It just captured everything he was envisioning, a flexible, collaborative school built on modern, cloud-first principles. Suddenly, the idea wasn't abstract anymore. It had an identity. So with this new vision starting to take shape, the final, painful break from his old professional life became unavoidable. And when it happened, it had this sense of ceremony and a whole lot of sadness.
Get this. In June of 2012, NKI holds this big reception. They award Morten Flate Paulsen a medal for 30 years of loyal service to the company. And then, the very next day, he walked in and handed in his resignation. 30 years.
But the absolute final straw came a few months later, in September. The chairman announced a new CEO, a colleague that nobody really trusted or liked. And for Morten, sitting there in the audience, that was the moment he knew it was truly, completely over. It was, as he put it, the day the music died. And his gut feeling wasn't just a feeling. The numbers absolutely back him up. In just 3 years under that new CEO, NKI's revenue fell, and a healthy 7 million NOK profit flipped into an 11 million NOK deficit. The place was heading in the wrong direction, fast. But as one chapter was closing, another one was opening with incredible speed. Morten now had to take that idea, that name he found at an antique shop, and turn it into a real, actual school. And he gave himself a deadline of just 6 months to do it.
And here's how he pulled it off, step by step. He found a free office, he got official government approval. That approval let him win a crucial development grant. He then partnered with a Moodle expert to build out the tech platform, and he signed his very first content partner. It was just a masterclass in how to launch something lean and fast.
So when you look at the two paths side by side, the contrast is just stark. NKI was losing its best people and was on a path to eventually being sold off. Meanwhile, NooA enrolled its first test student in January 2013 and its first paying student just 1 month later. A brand new academy was officially born.
Morten's story from 2012 really leaves us with this powerful question, and it's one that goes way beyond just the world of education. It kind of forces you to ask yourself, in your own career, in your own life, at what point do you realize your energy is better spent building something new instead of trying to fix something that's broken?